Recently, DSP has announced that he would be doing a reaction to a Machinima documentary by June the King. DSP had a 6-year relationship with Machinima that had some ups but mostly downs throughout the years. In this video, we will go back to the very beginning through the very end of his contract with Machinima. During the early days of YouTube, DSP would make all his money from Google AdSense, but in 2009, he would receive a contract from Machinima. A year later, in 2010, DSP would make a video explaining why he rejected this contract from Machinima and insult them.
Now, he says, with the sheer number of videos that you upload every day, I'm sure if Machinima ever offered you a contract and turned your channel's partner, there'd be an extremely large payout for you. And that's from Pinwheel Kick. Well, Pinwheel Kick, bottom line is this. Just a little bit under a year ago, I was offered a contract by Machinima. And first of all, the contract was no obligation. So I read it and I was like, okay, and I signed it, but I never agreed to ever give them any content. And I did that for a reason, because I wanted to see, I know business. A lot of people don't know this about me. I have a business degree, okay? I went to college, I graduated, I have a Bachelor of Science in Business. That's actually a major in finance, and so I know how businesses work. I knew that as soon as I signed the dotted line on that contract, that immediately a new listing of rules and regulations and terms and agreements were going to come flying at me, because that's how they do these open contracts. They try to trick you with that kind of stuff. So I never gave them any content. I signed the initial contract, and I waited, and I wanted to see what was going to happen. So just as what I expected would happen is exactly what happened. They all of a sudden sprung on me all these kinds of terms, conditions, and requirements that they had never even mentioned before I had signed the contract. It was, in my opinion, it was a slap in the face. It was very unprofessional to do it that way, because I had asked them a lot of questions up front regarding that kind of stuff. They were like, don't worry about it, it's not a big deal. And then they sprung all this new stuff on me. But I decided to be an individual, and you know what? So what? I don't make a lot of money doing what I'm doing right now. Let me tell you this, I appreciate every donation that I get. All of them go towards equipment and things for my videos, and all also the merchandise that people buy, and people who go and, they're nice enough to go on my partner channel and watch those videos and click the ads and things like that. Anything that I make off of this, I'm extremely appreciative of, and that's all. I'm not looking to become rich or make this my life. So all I have to really say is fuck you, Machinima, because you pissed me off. You disrespected me. You lied to me up front. You tried to get me to sign the contract quickly. Then you sprung all these terms and conditions on me. You didn't want to work with me. I offered to give you my videos if you had put that editing and stuff on yourself. You refused. And now what happened? Your channel, Machinima Respawn, which you wanted me to be a major part of the launch of, now has, 5 billion fucking Modern Warfare 2 videos, and nothing else is successful at all on that channel. So congratulations for fucking yourself and signing all the no talent who got you 0 fucking additional viewers, and now you have 2 channels of all Modern Warfare 2 instead of just 1. Congratulations, good for you. So that's the story with Machinima. That's why I'm never going to work for those guys unless they change their minds and actually decide to work with me, which they were not willing to do before, and that's that. So
in 2010, it would be determined that DSP had violated the terms and conditions of Google AdSense. He had been telling his fans to click on the ads so he could get additional money.
To entertain you in the future, please go to my partner channel, the King of Hate HD, and click on the ads that show up on the videos there, because hopefully, fingers crossed, that actually starts giving me some money back for what I'm doing. I mean, it's not cheap. I might be able to make it work, and here's how. It's not going to be based off of selling any product. It's basically going to be based off of my partner channel, which is this channel, the King of Hate HD, and basically how much you guys participate with this channel, if you know what I mean. I'm not allowed to come out and just say, how you can do that, but anyone who's accustomed to YouTube and how the partner channels work, I'm sure you understand what.
With his Google AdSense terminated, he had no way of making money on YouTube now, so DSP would go to a YouTube competitor at the time, Blip TV. Though his time on there would be short-lived because he would make anti-Semitic jokes while playing Dead Space.
This is what happens when you let the Jews do whatever they want. You've let the Jews overrun space, and now look at this. Their greed has had the artifact turn everyone into necromorphs. So now I, the last remaining Nazi, must exterminate them. Hello, Jew.
Despite the jokes he had made, he would blame all the mentally ill people out there for complaining to Blip TV.
Worth of money, which they never paid me. And then going off of YouTube because I really didn't see any other way to make money on YouTube, and going over to Blip TV, which is a YouTube competitor, and having to deal with all the problems that were over there. You know, how many problems there were with just the loading of videos and things like that. And, you know, that worked out pretty well for a month. And then, unfortunately, like I said, those really crazy, really mentally ill fucking people who just can't stand seeing someone be successful, sending fake complaint emails to, like, the higher-ups of this company and getting me kicked off of their business for complete bullshit. It's absolutely insane that happened, but
DSP would crawl back to Machinima after speaking with Hutch, who was connected with them.
And I talked about this in 2010 in one of my Ask the King videos, incidentally, and I guess Hutch got wind of it and got all mad because he misunderstood what I was saying. He thought that I was like bad-mouthing the company and saying all kinds of stuff, which I really wasn't. I was just saying we didn't come to an agreement business-wise on what exactly kind of content I would be able to provide them, and therefore it didn't work. So we had this little argument, whatever, in 2010, and then we let it go. And then after the whole Blip TV incident, I had enough. And basically I went to Hutch and I said, listen, man, you know, water under the bridge, but I see that you guys are very successful on YouTube, and I've had enough. I've tried to do this now for 3 months by myself since I was laid off, and Google fucked me, and now Blip TV's fucked me, and I'm tired of getting fucked, pretty much. I want to know if there really is a company out there who's willing to work with me. You know what kind of content I put out. I put out video game playthroughs and every once in a while video game reviews. So what gives? What would you have available? Is there anything available that you guys could do for me? And Hutch, you know, knowing who I was, went and talked to the people over at Machinima, and next thing you know, I got signed up under their partner program, and that's why you see ads on all of my videos now on DSPgaming and DSP Street Fighter. I get paid per video view.
DSP would receive a view-based contract and begin pumping out as many videos as possible, bringing in a lot of money. This would lead to DSP spending thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars on statues and various other things such as leasing a BMW. Though one of the biggest problems DSP would have with the Machinima would be the customer service.
Then the log usually does not get addressed properly and just gets closed. So when it comes to customer support, Machinima went from here down to the toilet. The underground toilet in your basement. That's how bad it's got. But I've accepted all these changes because I know that my agreement with Machinima, again, the way that I am making a flat rate versus views compared to how other people are getting a cut of ad revenue, it's better. Right now, with Machinima, I'm making more than I would if I went to another company that had some kind of performance-based percentage based off of ad revenue, at least assuming that I'd be getting the same ads. Now, it's possible that if I went to another partnered network and they had better ads, that I'd make more money. But I don't know, and that's a huge risk to take. It's a lot more consistent and safe for me to have this current agreement that I have with Machinima than try to go to a new one. All right?
At the end of 2012, Machinima would renegotiate DSP's contract, resulting in him receiving less money.
Let's talk about what's been going on over the past month regarding myself and my future here on YouTube. As you know, about a month ago, I made an announcement that something had happened, and it was uncertain what was going to happen to me, whether or not I was going to be able to continue doing YouTube full-time as a career, as I've done for the past 2 years. There's been some stuff going on with me and my contract, and there's going to be some changes. Actually, they're already effective. They took effect this week. And the bottom line is, I am making less money now, okay?
DSP would insist that he made smart financial decisions, so this wouldn't be a problem.
Overspend, as you've seen. Even though I told you for the past 2 years financially I've been doing pretty well for myself, I'm still here in the condo. I didn't go out and buy a super overexpensive house, and I didn't go out and buy a sports car. Yes, I am driving a BMW, but it's actually a lot more economical than people really think, and it's also full service, so I actually, in the long run, am probably going to be paying the same, if not less than what I paid for my previous car, which was a piece of shit, and I had to constantly have it in the shop. I basically paid for that car 3 times over. So I basically have lived within my means, you know what I mean? You don't see me here with super expensive clothes on or anything, and you don't see me wearing jewelry and shit. You know, I'm smart. I've banked my money. This video is not an attempt for me to try to beg people for money and ask for donations or do a Kickstarter. And there's going to be people who are going to say that kind of stuff, and you have to really think about the history of the person who you're watching when people say nasty shit. Because have I ever in the history of me being on YouTube begged people for donations, begged for money, begged for anything? That's not the kind of person I am. And actually, since I started making money on YouTube, I actually literally said to everyone, I am not accepting monetary donations. To entertain you in the future, please go to my partner channel, the King of Hate HD, and click on the ads that show up on the videos there, because hopefully, you know, fingers crossed, that actually starts giving me some money back for what I'm doing. I mean, it's not cheap to do what I'm doing. So, you know, anything that you can give back is much appreciated. I also do have the PayPal donation on the left-hand side of my Darksydephil channel.
Despite receiving less money from Machinima and his YouTube channel's trending downwards, he would decide to move across the country to Washington in 2013. In 2015, DSP would begin receiving copyright strikes on his channel. DSP would say that Machinima had told him to delete all videos that had copyrighted material, but one effect from deleting all these videos would be DSP fading from YouTube's algorithm due to the drop in views.
Machinima said, well, at this point, you're basically boned because we don't know what else is in the pipeline. Whoever these malicious parties are could have submitted 100 copyright claims against you for every piece of fan art ever. So we recommend you take a day and you go through and you delete all of these videos off of your channel whatsoever that have fan art in them. So I did. I went and I deleted upwards of hundreds of pre-stream videos, because keep in mind, every day I stream, and every day I was streaming 1 or 2 times. That's 2 pre-stream videos. So you're talking upwards of hundreds, if not more, videos that I had to delete off of DSPgaming. Now, I've spoken with Machinima about it briefly, very briefly with Machinima, and they confirmed it. They said, we looked at your analytics, we're looking at your Google rankings, because they have access to that data, and I'm fucked. They're basically like, yeah, you're fucked. You have dropped insanely low. You were way up here, and now you're way down here, which means you've got no natural influx of viewers to your channel whatsoever, which is why you've had such a drop-off.
Then, at the very end of 2015, Machinima would renegotiate DSP's contract once again.
Machinima contacted me today and said they're renegotiating certain contracts. My contract is one of the ones under scrutiny, and basically I have 10 days to comply with this new contract that they have now offered me. Now, I'm going to be honest with everyone. It's not an unfair contract. In fact, it's a very fair contract. In fact, even though I'm not going to disclose to you what the contract is, it is the most probably the best offer I'm going to get without, like, really hashing stuff out with another company. Meaning I'm going to... So the bottom line is this, everyone. I have to rethink what I'm doing on YouTube. When you look at the history of how I've done on YouTube, the fact that from the years 2012 to 2015, there's been a decline in my business. This year, it finally plateaued, and I was doing good. And then because of false copyright issues, I tanked again. Now I'm on the up again, and now this is happening. It's kind of like every time I get right back on the horse, and I'm fighting against this torrent of shit, and people that don't want me to succeed, I say, fuck you, I'm going to keep succeeding, because every person that says that I'm not good enough and I can't keep, you know, doing well, that motivates me to do better, and then I do better, and then I get knocked down another fucking peg. And I'm gonna be honest, it's getting fucking frustrating at this point, because it's like thing after thing after thing after thing after thing, whether it's a personal thing that really has nothing to do with my business, but it still negatively shines upon me, whether it is a concrete business-related thing with money. I'm just tired of it.
The final nail in the coffin would be in 2017 when the adpocalypse happened. DSP's ad revenue would severely drop, and he would reach out to Machinima demanding answers.
Basically, the bottom line is YouTube ad revenue, at least for me on my channels, is down into the toilet. Worse than January, which makes no sense, because in January it was really bad. It always is bad in January because you had that big rush for the holidays, right? And then after the holidays, the ad revenue goes, boo, into the toilet for about a month. And then all of a sudden in February it comes back because you've got the Super Bowl, you've got big movies coming out, you get this big insurgence. Views-wise, all right, just to give you some perspective here, views have been pretty steady on everything I'm doing. It's not like all of a sudden I got this giant decrease of viewership out of nowhere and it plummeted, and now, you know, it didn't happen. What happened is the middle of last year, the middle of 2016, YouTube changed the algorithm of how to count a view. They didn't tell anyone they were doing it. They never publicly explained it, but they changed the algorithm. So even though people are coming out and watching my videos, not all the views are counting, okay? It's a fact. There's no fucking other explanation for it. And YouTube was telling me, oh, well, you still made a third less than you did the month before. And I'm like, this is so fucking bullshit. So according to YouTube, because they don't do a good job of securing ad revenue for the website, let's face it, that's a truthful statement. Because the bottom line is, You can't just buy ads when it's easy. Oh, well, in the holidays, it's easy. Everyone wants to advertise, so it's easy because we make a ton of money. So everyone should just backload all their fucking videos to the end of the year so they can make a shitload of money during the holidays, and then it dries up in January, so go on vacation in January. No, fuck you, Google. How about you do some actual fucking work, and you actually reach out to the advertisers, and you explain to them you're going to have programs that are going to target certain demographics and a certain group of people based off of the information on your site so that they will pay you money to advertise even in a dead month like fucking January. But they don't do that. They're lazy fuckheads. So they just, oh, well, ad revenue is always bad in January, everyone. Wishy-washy, just fucking let it go. It's stupid. This is the epitome of bullshit. This is called a complete lack of accountability by a major corporation that basically thinks that they're hot shit. Google thinks they're hot shit. And when I see something like this, I say, this is bullshit, and I'm not putting up with this shit anymore. I'm really not. Something's got to give, and I'm not giving up on my business after 8 years. I refuse. These motherfuckers are going to figure out what they did wrong, and they're going to fucking fess up because I'm not. I refuse to go away when I didn't fail, you know. I wrote my partnership company, Machinima, because I need to get to the bottom of this. What the fuck is going on? First of all, I thought maybe the reporting was wrong, okay? So I wrote them this notice last night. I said, I need an answer because this is insane. How am I going to pay my bills when you're now telling me I'm making 50% less money than I used to, and it has nothing to do with me? My views are only down like 13%, so it's not me. This 35% dip is insane, and it's YouTube, not me, okay? Whenever I write to Machinima now, I basically kind of get an answer, but it's not the answer I want, and I have to go back to them 3 to 5 times to get the answer I want. So this time, they came back to me with data. And they said, well, Phil, if you look at the amount of ad impressions you had in January, and you have the amount of ad impressions you've had in February, and they did all this math, I'm not going to get into the fancy part of it, but to know is, why is it then, if the ad impressions are the same, why am I making 35% less money? Because that makes no fucking sense. None. I'm waiting for an answer from Machinima. I'm going to pound the fuck out of them. If they don't answer me, I'm going to get an answer. I want a fucking answer because this is my livelihood. And no one has a right to just take my livelihood away from me like this. They've already fucked me with their bad copyright system and the false copyright strikes. They fucked me by taking my YouTube channels out of YouTube search. They fucked me again, left and right, every few years by changing the algorithms of how popularity on YouTube is calculated. And my ass is so fucking stretched out at this point, it's time to push back. How you like that for an analogy? At this point, I want an answer. I'm going to fucking pound the fuck out of these guys until I get one, and it better be a goddamn good one, because I'm not accepting, oh, well, it's just some flaky bullshit. No.
After this encounter, DSP's contract with Machinima would be cancelled. He would claim at this time that it was a mutual decision.
After 6 years of this relationship with Machinima, it has come to an end, all right? The parting with Machinima was because necessarily they cut me. It's not the truth. The truth is that it was pretty much a mutual agreement between the two of us. A lingering kind of a feeling that's been going on for a long time, okay?
But later on, DSP would go on to a long rant explaining what had happened with Machinima, revealing that they had cancelled his contract after he gave them an ultimatum. During this rant, he would go on to trash the individuals working at Machinima and Machinima as a whole.
I wrote a log. Had to write a log because there's no point of contact anymore with Machinima. They all got laid off, right? I wrote a log to their system. How can this be? Why does it say I'm making half as much revenue or whatever? Per the first response I got, okay, from their customer service department, the guy completely blew off my question, didn't answer. He basically said, oh, well, you know, February is a shorter month. And based off of these ad revenue percentages and CPMs and all of this stuff, it looks like if it had been a month as long as a normal month, you would have made as much as you did in January, but it was a shorter month. I was like, are you an idiot? I made half as much as I did in January, you dunce. This is completely factually incorrect. You're completely dodging the question. I went back to him. I said, that is not a satisfactory answer. And I didn't get a satisfactory answer. I asked for them to escalate it to management. I waited another day, no response. I waited another day, and I wrote them another log. And I said, you now have me waiting 2 more days. You still haven't given me an update. I need an answer. They came back and again blew smoke up my ass. No concrete information whatsoever. And I said, I went back to them again and I said, this is it. I said, you know, I asked you now twice to escalate this issue to management. Okay. So now I knew basically they weren't going to do that. So I said, well, I know what I can do. I can contact the head of the partnership program. Now, it had been a while since I had talked to him, about a year. Because I had sent this off to this other guy, I get a response the next day, again from the automated log system, the same guy who's apparently an up-and-up guy at the customer support of Machinima. And he says, they said something that when they said this, that was pretty much it for me and Machinima. Here's what they said. They said, we would appreciate it if you don't go out of your way to write and contact other departments here within Machinima. To basically stay within the lines. Stay within where you're supposed to be talking to us for help on customer support in this log system. And don't you dare go outside and try to contact anyone else for help. All right? That was it. Because literally what that is, that's passive aggressive. That's talking down to me. That's telling me, treating me like a child. Like, how dare you try to, you know, do something that's not within these little guidelines and rules. And you run outside of the dotted lines, right? And I literally said, I feel like you've insulted me. And therefore, I'm going to be honest with you. I want you to escalate this issue to management. I don't care if it's your manager, if it's the CEO of the company, whoever it is, they need to be aware that this is an issue going on with YouTubers and people under your partnership program. And I want you to know that if you feel that this is how you're going to treat me as a partner, I don't want to be with you anymore. And I said that in black and white writing in this message to them. I don't want to be with you anymore. If you're going to mistreat me and talk down to me and not get me help and basically talk to me like a kid. The next day, I got a message from Machinima saying, and it was from the same guy, so again, went against my wishes, we have decided to execute our right to end a partnership with you on all of your channels. So let's recap this situation. I did nothing wrong, okay? I wasn't in violation of YouTube rules. I wasn't flagged for being advertiser unfriendly. All of a sudden, I literally started making half as much money as I usually did. It was to the point where I was afraid I was going to lose my house, my job, my livelihood. Everything was going to be repossessed. My life was going to be fucking ruined. I didn't have a backup plan to fall upon, okay? I contact Machinima for help for a week and a half. They give me the runaround and don't give me any answers whatsoever on what's going on. And they refuse to hold YouTube accountable and get answers from YouTube. Then I go to a contact who I'd already had from 2 years running as a contact of someone who's helped me and told me to go to him on these issues. I went to him, was told he wasn't with the company anymore, and then I was scolded by Machinima for talking to the guy that I was told previously should be my point of contact for issues like this. Talked down to like a fucking child. So I laid down the line with Machinima and said, if that's how you're going to treat me, I don't want to be with you anymore, and they released me from my contract. Like I said, I never did a thing wrong with Machinima. In there, I never violated a policy. I never did anything wrong with them, ever. And all I did was try to basically stick up for myself and keep myself afloat and not have my business fall apart. And to be treated with such disrespect from them was the last straw, to which I said, I don't want to work with you anymore if that's how it's going to be. And then they cut me from the contracts, basically. So it was mutual, honestly. I said, that's it. If you're not going to step up and help me, I don't want to be with you anymore. And they said, okay. And then they released me from my contracts. And that's what happened with Machinima. I would rather be with a company that's not going to respond at all than a company that's going to basically talk down to you and treat you like a kid. I can't contact someone who's helped me dozens of times in the past couple of years with issues like this. You're going to yell at me and talk down to me like a child? Go fuck yourself. Yeah, I'm an adult. Sorry, I'm the one who operated a successful YouTube channel. Me. I'm the one who puts out the content that's entertaining and has a fan base. Me. I'm the one, not you. You're the company that just took a cut of ad revenue and protected me from copyright issues. It's not some grandiose thing where you're better than me or you know better than me. I'm the one who put the content on YouTube. All the content creators of YouTube are the ones who made the site successful. Not the partnership companies, not Google or YouTube itself, the content creators. We're the ones who should be treated with fucking respect. It's insane that you would ever be talked down passively aggressively by one of these MCNs. You ever get that? You say, fuck you, and you get the fuck out of there.
This had happened in 2017, and now in 2023, DSP will once again talk about Machinima. This video will be out before his reaction to the Machinima documentary, so it is yet to be seen what he will say about them. For now, this is where we end, but there may be a follow-up if DSP attempts to rewrite history. As always, thank you for watching, consider subscribing, and thank you to all my members, and a shout out to Francisco Ramos Mejia.
Begging for fucking tips some shit on Street Fighter. WWE champions. Time. I'm stupid. WWE game plays like Candy Crush. Moving gems around.